Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And we're back to cover episode 21 of season 2 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled A Legion of Horribles. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
All right, BlueDragonFive. So we're kind of in this interesting situation here where we've seen the final episode. You and I both agree this is a really good setup for the final episode. This is a damn good penultimate episode. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to like. It's one of the strongest episodes of the season. And then the final episode kind of let us down a little. So I think that's got to be sort of a talking point here. We're not going to push it into the foreground of the conversation, but it's kind of looming over both our thoughts. So I think I want to address it. I think I want to address it just head on as we venture into this. But you know what else is looming in our thoughts, but in a good way?
What?
The Movie Machine Podcast! All right, folks, I'm going to make this short because we've been doing this. I think I've gotten pretty good at this bitch. So join Jacob Gulliver and company as they take on crazy random ideas for movies and try and make the ideas as out there as they can. There's a director, a producer, a writer, and a moderator, and anything can happen. They've done 13 episodes so far. Every Sunday, folks, hotchocolatemedia.net. All right, BlueDragonFive, ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Legion of Horribles. So what's going on?
So let's see, we start the episode picking up from the cliffhanger we left off with at the end of last episode where Selena is trying to talk some sense into Bridget, but it looks like she's about to be sauteed. We come back here as Strange and Peabody are watching Bridget starting trying to flambe Selena. She's evading being burned alive by Firefly's hands.
I really enjoy Firefly's performance here. She's really into the whole, like, I am the goddess of fire. But I'm sorry. I wish she would have called herself Pele at one point. I was really hoping for that.
Well, they're keeping it broad. No one knows all the little intricacies of it.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of, I guess her name technically is Firefly, but that just seems, anyways.
Let's see, so, it looks like all is going well. It's like, okay, well, she's going to get her workout. So Strange and Peabody leave the room, leave it all to the delusional goddess of fire.
Gee, someone scrambled your brains, or your eggs.
Yeah, Selena does a stealth takedown of Bridget. Basically,
this is your brain. This is your brain on Strange Revival from the Dead. Ah! I'm sorry, that was kind of lame.
But yeah, so it's basically Selena. She pulls an awesome stealth takedown. The room's a lot bigger than you think it'd be. You think Strange would have factored that into the construction of the room, really?
Yeah, it's very intricate. It kind of reminds me of Magneto's cell from X2 in a way, except without the cool like glass thing. It's just, I don't know, and the scope of it.
Well, I think Selena has the opportunity to kind of evade the fire a little bit more. He gets a little singed on the leg, but then if she takes her down, then you're right, then we have the awesome kind of like, someone really sure scrambled your brain. Okay, let's see. Meanwhile, Bruce is waiting on the rooftop with Bridget's birds.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm sorry, I'm gonna make a Pitch a Man joke later, but I'm gonna resist it now.
So anyways, waiting for Selena to check back is the idea. She goes in there, does some recon, finds some stuff to check in with Bruce, so we can have some dirt on Hugo Strange, so get an arrest and all that stuff. Also, importantly, save Bridget.
Oh yeah. And then Ivy Pepper officially comes in and has like 5 times more screen time than Harvey Dent's had this season.
But yeah, it's true. Yeah, well, if you factor in all of Ivy Pepper's stuff,
yeah, I factored in all of Ivy Pepper's appearances. Yeah, so she's making leaps around Harvey Dent at this point.
So again, Bruce kind of jumps the gun with shouting yet again, saying, "Oh, Selena, thank God you're back." Says, "Hey, no, I'm. Oh, you're late, but you thank God you're back." Wait, I'm not late. I'm right where I need to be. The Ivy there to feed the birds. Feed the birds.
Don't start.
Okay. Anyway, so this indicates to Bruce that there's no sign of Selena, which is not good. That looks like Strange might have her in his clutches, which is not good. Runs off to tell his good pal Jim Gordon. Meanwhile,
we have Harvey Bullock at a press conference. He's explaining shit about Azrael. I like how he's covering up the whole awesome Bruce Gilzey moment where he's like, Azrael was blown up by person or persons unknown, so he's dead.
I love Bullock in command because he's so not used to it. He's so informal, and he's trying to sound professional. You know, he's just like person. Like he's using, I think the terminology is a little off when he's using it. Just like it's like he's giving away too much. He's not hiding the right things. You know, he's like, by persons unknown.
I think that Bullock has had one of the best character arcs throughout the season.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of the little hiccup we got with not really explaining what happened with Scotty, but I think that's,
Well, again, there's a line that says, like, she won't like it and she'll probably leave him, and then they say, oh, yeah, she left me.
Right. So
Not the best of ways to write her off, but hey, maybe one day she'll return along with Remo one day to Motel. Maybe one day.
But it's kind of interesting, I think, in a way that Harvey Bullock and James Gordon at this point have essentially switched places where Bullock is kind of forced to be by the books and Gordon is going off the books. So I think that's a really cool dynamic to kind of track going into these final 2 episodes. So.
Well, as Bullock's little Azrael press conference here.
Azrael!
It's really funny and endearing for Bullock here. You know, it's like he just has trouble finding the right word, so he's just like saying, well, there's nothing left for you. Now he's meat dust, so there's really no idea of how to identify the body.
Who killed Galavan? Which time? I think that's a nice, fun jab at like how much of a big deal we made that out to be throughout the season.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's see. So then Bullock retreats to his office after the press conference he's given there. And, there's, again, I like Gordon being in the office helping Bullock out. Really nice little dynamic they got going there.
Yeah, except he just rejoined the GCPD.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Oh, God. It's funny because I hate to say it, BlueDragonFive. I know you're a Jim Gordon guy, but, oh, God, out of all the characters this season, I think Gordon's probably had one of the roughest, kind of rockiest arcs. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been good stuff there, but just this last thing with the whole rejoining the GCPD and everything, it's hard to swallow, man. It really is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Point is, again, this episode, believe me, I still have a few gripes with this episode, but overall, I do considerably like it. I mean, again, when it first aired, I was really hyped for it. I still really do like it. Again, compared to the next episode, again, a lot more impressive.
This episode is a lot of fun. There's a lot of Terry Gilliam influence to it, which I'll get into. It definitely has some of that kind of dark 1960s Batman, which we kind of praise on the show. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Anyway, so again, I just like kind of Gordon being kind of the right-hand man to Bullock again. Unfortunately, not in an official capacity, but you know what I mean.
I mean, I guess for the writing sense, they kind of figure like, well, if he's not technically part of the GCPD, then he can kind of do these sort of more Batman-like things. They made him Batman.
Yeah, they did. It's so funny because he was Batman in year 1. It's so funny. He was Batman in year 1.
Does that make Gordon? Does that make Bullock Gordon? It kind of does. It pretty much does.
Kinda, and it's so funny that, and again, it's so funny when Jim Gordon again in the comics recently became Batman. Bullock was his Jim Gordon in that too.
Oh no. maybe they had a hint of inspiration there. I'd like to think so. Anyway,
it's so funny how a parallel what was going on in the comics. Anyway, so basically Bullock's airing out to Gordon here that he hates being acting captain, and basically he tells him they can't go back to Arkham until they have something to go on. Bullock pointed out it'd be a fruitless effort. Strange has covered his tracks too well. I mean, it'd be foolish to head back there, and as much as we both want to. Again, Bullock, believe me, he's a little more helpful than your regular kind of authority figures on the show.
It's definitely a step up from Barnes for sure.
And then when Bullock's hands are tied, he's telling you, believe me, I want to help you, and I would do it. And believe me, just give me a little bit to go, and I'm all there for you, buddy. But not so. Anyway, so as Bullock's stuck, well, I'm stuck here with this, as he's stuck there with the paperwork.
That's a luxury I don't have.
Yeah, Bruce is calling for Gordon, and he calls him over and tells him about Selena, and they're on their way up to deal with the situation.
Also, Gordon is just like, Bruce, you really have to stop calling me detective, and I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah, you think you were signed? Come on.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Okay, let's see. So we got news on the black and white TV, which is, again, nice little, I'm not sure it's a direct reference. Again, they're going for kind of the timeless vibe. It feels very much like the animated series.
Out of time. Yeah.
Yeah, like very much like Batman animated series. They had black and white TVs in that, too. It's always so cool. Well, anyway, so on a little, we got the news of Bullock's press conference on a black and white TV. And then we had this moment, Tegan. And this is like the perfect cold open moment here. I mean, if you're gonna,
but it's not the cold open; it's after the logo.
You know what I'm? Wait, what?
Yeah, no, it is. It's after the logo. I made sure to made sure to write it down in my notes.
Are you absolutely? I was pretty sure the logo's following this bit.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I could have sworn because I love this bit so much. I don't. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's the other way, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Points.
In my notes, the logo is when they have the court.
That's what. Yes, after this moment that's coming up here.
Oh, I apologize.
Anyway, when this moment is one of the best cold opens here. This guy. The moment that transitions to the Gotham logo, where I was
but in my notes it's just like I'm sorry, I kind of got my notes confused, but there's so much shit that happens before this moment, before they get to the logo, so you can't really call it a proper cold open.
My point is, I'm just saying, if you're this is a huge moment that then cuts the logo. I love it.
It is.
Yeah, let me get into that moment. Okay. I was freaking out so much when this happened. It was so obvious, yet we never saw it. It was like, oh, we had a little hint at it early in the season, and we thought, okay, they might just kind of abandon that for now. But oh my god! So on Hugo Strange's television, an old white-haired woman with kind of an altered voice is talking on the TV to Hugo Strange, sending a message, and. And oh my god, this was a huge moment because we see an owl mask of her on the phone, and it signals the Court of Owls, which is a huge moment.
Oh yeah.
She's telling Strange Strange is losing control, and it's basically time to get. He's losing control. He needs to get things together for the court. Sorry, my main point is that the Court of Owls is a huge deal because early on we had the whole Gates of Gotham thing. We had a little flashback to the ancient ways, the ancient kind of building of Gotham. The Wayne ancestors, the Dumas ancestors, the Elliots, all the old families of Gotham. That was a big hint at the Court of Owls era, which the Court of Owls spans generations of Gotham in Gotham's history. And there's a big coup to get this because it's a very popular story. It's by one of my favorite Batman writers, Scott Snyder. So I mean, just the instant I saw that owl mask and I saw, oh my god, the white hair, it's want to see the ad all the.
Okay, but aren't you at least a little bit worried about, like, now you're kind of in the Azrael territory of being a big fan of it? Well, so are they going to fuck it up? I think that's probably my question. I'm not excited about it.
It's a lot safer on this one, Tiki. This one's the Court of Owls. One, it's a newer thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I shouldn't say newer. It's been 5 years, so it's time flies. But seriously though, the Court of Owls, it's a lot more open to interpretation. As long as the way they've kind of revealed it here is
like they set it up to be kind of like one of the main storylines of season 3, which is nice. They can kind of stretch it out.
I mean, the Court of Owls, it's basically they're kind of the ominous organization behind. They are the secret puppet masters of Gotham. See, it's a lot safer than just saying Azrael and the Order of St. Dumas is a very specific thing. The Court of Owls is just like, they do this one specific thing, but it's generations ago, so you can pretty much say whenever this current generation hatched the plan, they were doing this.
Okay, I gotcha.
My point is, it's a big coup because they have like various. Some people are complaining about the change in mask. I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm saying one or two things. I knew they weren't going to go directly pulling from just the regular marketing. They have these awesome. You've seen the look of the Court of Owls, right? Just they have this.
Yeah. Also, this show has never been directly like, oh look, it's the comic book on screen.
I mean, the Court of Owls is notorious for having a very literally. They marketed this thing like crazy. You go to Comic-Con and greet Scott Snyder in one of these.
No. I was actually into graphic novels like Watchmen and stuff at the time Court of Owls came out. So yeah, I was well aware of it.
And it's a very simple mask, and that was the cleverness of it. It's like anyone could be a member of the Court of Owls and just be under that mask, and such kind of an ominous image. And point is, it was such a simple, cheap thing. Really, anyone can do it, and the show could easily do that. But the point is, our kind of our head of the court. She's like one of the council members of the court. You know what I mean? Like they're in the Victorian, they're in the fancy dresses, and they again with the big white Victorian hair kind of get up. You know, she wears kind of like a masquerade version of the owl mask, and I figured the high-ranking officials might have like a different owl mask. But then, even if all of them, it's owlish enough. I'm fine with it. You know, as long as it serves the purpose, it obscures.
And I have no opinion of it whatsoever. So
my point is, the reason I was so blown away, I wrote my notes like yes with an exclamation point, because what this achieved, Tiki, is it all made sense. It made a lot of elements of the season come together and make sense in a really great way. You know why?
I mean, I think we're spending a lot of time on like what amounts to like 30 seconds of what the show is, but why? I'm
saying this is a big moment. This moment connected the dots for all the stuff this season in a big way.
All right, well, tell us, in the risk of this podcast going on really long. Tell us.
Oh, and this is a very important part. That's why it's Mr. Freeze was seen on early in the season. In the comics, Mr. Freeze is responsible for the compound that brings the Court of Owls back to life. In the comics, basically, they had their own assassins, which are called Talons, and these guys pretty much the Court of Owls has survived for generations because they kind of over the years they've made members of families of assassins. They've marked their descendants of like one of these days you're going to grow up because you have a certain marking in your teeth of you will become an assassin for the Court of Owls. And in the comics, in the story, Victor Freeze developed the freezing compound so they could freeze themselves like his wife, like Nora Freeze, and they could just be awoken like that, like they are in this show. So again, it's a nice little seed. It's a nice little trail we have here. That's why Victor Freeze was in this season, to come up with the idea, brings it back to life. That all of the stuff Hugo Strange has been getting at is starting to make a lot more sense. So that's why he's been doing all these monster experiments for the Court of Owls. And big thing for Bruce Wayne's story, last thing before we move on, is Bruce Wayne in the comics is a fun reverse. It was thought that Bruce Wayne thought the Court of Owls, because they were an old legend in Gotham, like the Court of Owls, like, do not cross this secret organization, Gotham, or they'll send a talon for your head. It was an old nursery rhyme. And Bruce Wayne, because of that old nursery rhyme in Gotham's history, he thought his parents were killed by the Court of Owls, so he looked into them, and he found nothing. And in the story, Court of Owls, he was confronted with an organization. He said, no, these guys don't even exist. But oh my God, they're back and they actually do exist. So Bruce knows nothing about Gotham City. That was the big mind thing.
I'm so sorry, man. I feel like a jackass right now because I literally have no emotional connection to this. To me, it's just like I knew Court of Owls was coming up, and then when I saw this, it's like, oh, there we go. Finally, they're here. So look, I understand you're excited about it, but I'm sorry because I feel like I said I feel like a jerk right now because I'm just sitting here stone-faced because what you're saying, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't know. I just we should move on, please.
Just main point that they're Bruce Wayne's family. It's these guys are the reason for Bruce Wayne's parents' death. That's kind of the reverse they're pulling in this. These guys who orchestrated the whole thing, which we'll get into a little bit later on. Anyway, so Strange in the meantime, he creates Clayface. Mm-hmm. We see a man who's awoken. He's been performing experiments throughout the season on other people. He hasn't just been bringing them back to life. I think I finally got a grasp on this thing. I've been questioning it during the last couple episodes.
It's weird. It's kind of like it's like half just bringing people back to life, like the Lazarus Pit style, and then half like doll maker kind of. It's bizarre.
But you get though that the Court of Owls wants him to bring people back from the dead, right? You get that much, right?
Yeah, I get that much. Yeah, that's pretty clear. Yeah.
Anyway, so Strange in the meantime, like Karen Jennings way back, like we saw, he's just been making people a little monstrous to get a little details straight too. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Clayface, we saw he was brought back from the dead, and what he's trying now is to give people their memories back. That's what the Court of Owls is very interested in. They want people brought back with their memories intact, because that's the point. Again, they can be immortal like Ra's al Ghul if they have their memories and personalities intact.
I get it.
And that's what he's been trying with Clayface and some other pages. That's why with Mad Hatter too, he's been bringing these people back from the dead.
I'm a little peeved about Mad Hatter because we were teased about him.
We have absolutely
nope.
They set him up, and he has been promised to actually feature bigly in the next season. So
he better.
We'll get there. My point is, so Clayface here, what he's doing here, this is important for Fish Mooney later on. He's been using DNA from certain animals and certain. This is a cool idea, like using. DNA.
It's straight up Jurassic Park.
It's so funny because he's the guy that did this.
I think this is very self-referential, in all honesty.
It's something
they can't not be aware of this.
seriously, something I really do want to applaud. I love the pseudoscience in this episode, though.
Oh,
And again, I love the idea that, okay, well, he's going to try
we'll get to it, but there's a very, very specific thing about Fish Mooney that connects very directly to Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah. But you see what I mean, though? So with this, I love this logic, though. Okay, well, he's brought people back to life and they have no memories, but they have like kind of random abilities. So let's try to channel that to specific abilities and maybe splice it with animals. It seems like a lot of sea life. You know, that's like a whole zebrafish thing and all the sorts of other.
Right.
Point, you know, let's try splicing DNA of animals that can maybe kind of maintain like certain characteristics about themselves, and we're going to try that in the testing. Later on, it's going to be a lot more successful, but he tries it with Clayface here with the octopi DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does, it gives him an elasticity. And I like, again, I like in this episode what we are presented with Clayface. More on him later. But point is, I like this kind of an origin of like, because first I was a little worried of like, oh, okay, we're getting Clayface. That's cool. But Clayface is usually a bunch of actors. You got a little liberty with Clayface, but he called him Basil Karlo, as we're going to find out later on, which is really cool.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So I like when Strange is kind of stretching his skin out. I just have my nose. It looks very much like Terry Gilliam, because that's a Terry Gilliam thing to do. You see it in a lot of his movies where the characters' faces get kind of stretched and stuff. So I really want Terry Gilliam to direct an episode of this show, and I know it's never going to happen, but that's kind of my dream when I was watching this. Anyway.
So let's see. So Clayface awakens. He's got elasticity and malleability in his face, but also a lot of panic over he still doesn't know who he is, and so the problem still has not been corrected yet.
What happened to me? What flavor is it?
I mean, you'd be understandably, Pete. What do you think of the look of this guy with like the white eyes and everything? I think he looks pretty cool.
I like it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I like most. I'm going to save it for the end when it happens. I'll save it for later on. Never mind. Point is, Strange leaves the room and says, "I'll be back." And again, he loves playing God and playing Father to these guys.
Oh, he is just like so delicious. He is taking such joy in all of this. I mean, we really did call like BD Wong was perfect casting. I think I really do think BD Wong has been like one of the best portrayals of any Batman villain I've seen, like right up there with Heath Ledger Joker, just in terms of like, you know, delivering the character on screen, giving him his own twist, and just having a ball with it and just running with it. He embodies the character.
I tell you, I'm so impressed. Whenever he has, like in this episode, in this scene, he has the lab coat buttoned up the whole way. He looks identical to Hugo Strange. It's ridiculous. I mean, with the beard and oh my god, and the glasses, it looks so perfect. Anyway, so again, the performance is awesome too. This episode and the next, well, for the most part, the next one, his performance is fantastic. Again, he doesn't falter. I'm just saying the writing falters in the next one, but you know he's still
writing definitely falters. Yeah,
I'm not saying. Yeah. Let's just say Hugo Strange in the next episode does some uncharacteristic things, but. Anyway, point is, Miss Peabody, she exposits that this is the seventh. Clayface here is the seventh body he's reanimated. So even Clayface was brought back from the dead, to be specific here. He's reanimated and still no memory, which is going to upset their employers, which is the Court of Owls. Ooh. Strange is very happy with the resurrections and the reading. You gotta remember, he's performing miracles here. He's just very happy. Again, Strange just loves the tinker, and he knows eventually they'll get it. They're working on. They're working with the toy box. So we'll put different sorts of DNA until we get a result we like. But in the meantime, hey, we're bringing people back. I'm playing God here. It's fun.
yeah.
Essentially. Let's see. He has a great
order scientific discoveries the way you order a steak, Ethel.
Yes, I love that line. I just love the steak line.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so next is Subject 13, which is not Jerome, but is Fish Mooney.
God damn it, Jerome kind of bothers me too.
No, you know it. Come on, they're doing some stuff with Jerome, you know.
I hope so.
No, they anyway. So the point is, big reveal, Fish Mooney.
Oh yeah. Bitch.
Anyway. So Alfred, in the meantime, is really peeved at Bruce for involving Selina in this whole Arkham Strange business.
And yet again, a really, really good kind of rounded arc for Alfred BlueDragonFive. I mean, do you think that the writers kind of intentionally, when they put in that moment that we were complaining about, where he straight up fucking punches Selina Kyle, where they're going to be like, okay, now we're going to have an arc for him where he really slowly grows to appreciate Selina Kyle, and by the end of it is straight up lecturing Bruce about Selina's safety.
I'll give you that, yeah, but I still think they went too extreme with the hit.
It was a little too extreme, but I'm saying I think they did a lot of work to make up for it and kind of make us like Alfred again. I think we can forgive Alfred after this.
You know, I will say this though. I am again. This is like a very minor gripe of the episode. Again, overall, I like a lot more than I dislike in this episode. Like again, but like two minor, like maybe 2 or 3 minor gripes, and this is one of them. That Alfred's lecture here. I mean, he's kind of flip flopping a little bit here, where it's like the idea of Bruce. Putting people closest to him in danger as he's lecturing him on that. But he knows that she's more than capable. That's why he chose her out of anyway. He basically, Alfred sells her like she's like a helpless little girl. She's not helpless, Alfred. Don't get me wrong, she's in a bad situation because of Bruce, but it sounds like he's just really hard. That innocent little girl, Alfred, she's not.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of see what you're saying, but I more just genuinely appreciated Alfred's concern for her. So.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just saying, Alfred, he has a tendency to kind of write off people's abilities. Like Bruce is a little more capable than he can grab.
And that kind of plays into my theory that one day they're just going to pull a shocking twist and they're going to kill off Bruce Wayne and Alfred's going to become Batman.
God.
I swear to God, that's my theory. That is my theory.
Alfred becomes Captain Britain.
No, he's Batman. He's just fucking straight up Batman.
No. Gordon's going to become Batman in memory of Bruce Wayne.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, let's not even go there. Okay.
Yeah, Gordon and Alfred at the funeral, and then Alfred has like a little line saying, "If only there was something I could have done, Alfred." And then Bruce tells
Gotham season 5. Gordon is Batman and Alfred is Captain Britain.
then Alfred tells him, "Well, we did have this one experience with a bat that we never saw on screen."
Oh no!
That's it, Alfred. I shall don the image of a bat.
Okay. Let's get out of this.
Anyway, let's see. So Lucius believes he's there during the play. I
like
Lucius
how helpful
Fox.
Lucius is throughout this episode. By the way, this is a really good Lucius.
Lucius Fox is so excellent in this show. I really do love Lucius Fox in this show. They got a great actor for this. Lucius believes that she's at Indian Hill, and they kind of Jim and everyone they kind of deduce that Indian Hill is kind of it's below Arkham. They figure it's these secret mad scientist lab. It's down Arkham like a stairwell or an elevator or something. And Lucius knows Strange's technology because again he knows a little bit about the project that Thomas Wayne and Strange were involved with, and he knows the process requires plutonium isotope, which is going to play into the next episode a little bit more. But importantly, Lucius Fox mentions, "Well, look, I can go back to my office. I got a Wayne Tech mini Geiger counter, so I can probably find where this lab is. We need to get inside, though." And then Bruce has, again, I love this whole caper that's forming in this. I do love this.
Can you just clarify one thing for me? Exactly what is it that this thing is, that this little gadget is moderating for? Is it radiation?
Yeah, it's the plutonium isotope thing.
Okay, but how do they know that radiation is there? Like, why is it that
Lucius? No, I just told you, Lucius knows about the project because he told Bruce way back when his father was involved.
Okay, I get you. Okay, I'm sorry.
So Lucius is the he's the tech guy. He knows what technology they're going to need to bring people back from do all the stuff Strange is doing. He needs plutonium isotope. That's what they're working with. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. He knew about Karen Jennings and all that stuff. Anyway,
yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So I do love this little plotting a caper. And again, capers are always a good thing. If we learn nothing from Ant-Man or Great Muppet Caper, capers are always fun. Seriously, we love capers. Seriously, can you remember like a bad caper?
Bryan Singer's The Bank Job, or not Bryan Singer, Brett Ratner's The Bank Job.
I think you mean Tower Heist, don't you?
Tower Heist, maybe
Tower Heist isn't bad. I think is there another one he did? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I just really hate Brett Ratner. So
look, Brett Ratner, he's made some good films. Okay, let's not be too. No. Yeah, he has. He's made some good films.
Fuck Brett Ratner.
Yeah, don't hold X-Men over his head like that. Come on.
I'm not holding X-Men over his head like that. I just don't like any of what he's done. But anyways.
He did Red Dragon. That movie was awesome.
Oh, he did Red Dragon? Okay. Fuck. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Anyway. And the first Rush Hour.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I don't like
and Family Man.
We'll get to Family Man. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in about 6 months.
Anyway, back to this point. I do love them kind of plotting out this little caper here. Bruce points out, well, they can kind of write it off as like a Wayne Foundation tour of the place. It's kind of the part of the plan right now they're forming. Alfred's worried, obviously, because Bruce would have to go in there alone with Lucius.
Mm-hmm.
And Alfred, because of his leg injury, he can't go with them. Remember, he did get kind of stabbed through the leg, so again, he's still not fully able to join them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. So Bruce is expositing to Alfred here. Well, look, Alfred, he has a responsibility. He's involved in this. Again, he put, like Alfred said, he put Selena in danger. He's got to go help her out. So he has to go. And Lucia, this is a really nice bit. Lucia's vows to protect him. Really nice.
I like his line. He's like, I may not be the second man you choose in a street fight, but I'll do anything I can to protect Bruce.
And Lucius Fox is a stand-up guy. I like
He really is. He really is.
Anyway, so then they point out.
And then Harvey Dent's just waiting in the corner like, God damn it. God damn it. Come on, give me something.
He's just nervously flipping the coin. And then, like, the light goes out on half of his face. What's going on here?
Oh, God. And then he's just having tea with Howard Hamlin in the corner.
Can you believe this? I know. I mean, and Howard Hamlin in a full Mad Hatter getup. I know. I gotta wait for next season.
Yes. Oh, fucking A. Now that you put that in my head, that needs to happen. Patrick Fabian is the Mad Hatter. God damn it. I'll be disappointed if it's anything less now.
Oh, come on. You know Fabian's not gonna get it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
It'd be wonderful if somehow that worked out. I mean, that would just be the craziest thing. But anyways.
Okay, just to establish the plan here they're talking about. The plan is, they find out where the lab is and they get some evidence on Strange, just some proof that he's getting some stuff done, which is enough for Bullock. Just like a little hint that something's going on that they can maybe prove. Then they mark it off somehow so they can inform Jim. Problem is, how are they going to get Jim inside? And Lucius comes up with a bright idea, a nasty, awful idea. No. Lucius does not come up.
It's not really that nasty. It's pretty straightforward.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying, it's Lucius. Because it's Lucius Fox, it can never be a nasty, awful idea. It's a nice, positive, smiley idea. So Lucius has a plan. If I can get you into the gate. Sure. So they're going to concoct the plan. We're going to see that later on. Meanwhile, Strange...
Gotham takes a back seat, and we see a scene from Jurassic World.
Fine, you take us.
That's straight up what this is.
All right, take us through it.
Okay, so he's talking about the cuttlefish, BlueDragonFive.
Yeah.
The cuttlefish.
Are you sure?
As in the plot device from Jurassic World, the Indominus Rex.
Are you sure that
cuttlefish?
You're sure that was cuttlefish?
I am dead sure. I am 100% sure.
I remember it was some kind of fish. I forgot if it was cuttlefish. Okay.
It's definitely cuttlefish.
All right, so
basically, the whole solution to reviving the humans and getting them to keep their memories is the same thing that made the goddamn Indominus Rex. That can't be a coincidence. That can't be a coincidence.
Well, think of all the movies we've parodied this season. All the movies we've homaged this season. Think with the Penguin. Right. We had Clockwork Orange. We had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And we had and then there's the Jurassic World.
Oh God! Don't forget Cinderella.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Cinderella. A violent Cinderella with a very violent ending.
Well, it's an ending that's more in line with the Grimm fairy tales. That's just what it is.
Yep. So if you kill the stepmother with a glass slipper instead of,
Okay, but seriously, you can explain the semantics of the scene, but all I have to say is it's straight up a Jurassic World reference. It's straight up. There can't be any way that this is not a Jurassic World reference.
And again, they got B.D. Wong, so it's a pretty safe bet.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. B.D. Wong is essentially just playing his Jurassic World character in this.
But on the off chance that they didn't see Jurassic World because they were maybe super fans of the original, on an off chance. Perhaps again, the cuttlefish. I'm getting the sense of maybe cuttlefish is something that's actually maybe in development with kind of some splicing and actual science. So they're kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Because cuttlefish might be open to a few potential things. And again, I think I could be wrong. I believe the reason they use the explanation in this show for the cuttlefish. And again, I don't know how.
Yeah, if you have any other expository details, now's the time to tell me. All I have in my notes is just oh my God, JP, a Indominus Rex reference.
Okay, but there's the reason for the cuttlefish in this show, and I'd say this is somewhat on the money from what I can guess would be the actual logic behind this. Is that they're using the cuttlefish DNA on Fish Moon is used on Fish Moon because of the regenerative brain cell effect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because basically
Is it the cuttlefish that also gives her the weird mind control abilities? Because I have a major problem with that.
Well, here's the thing. It's not. I mean, she can mind control things, but I mean, the rationale is like it's toxins.
I have a huge problem with that, but we'll get to that.
The rationale is it's toxins from the cuttlefish. They're somehow. Again, there's other stuff at play with what gives her the exact powers, but regardless, it's like that's from toxins from the cuttlefish.
It's some wonky shit, but we'll get there.
My point is, like, they're using the cuttlefish because of they're hoping it'll regenerate brain cells as like a regenerative effect on cells, along with kind of the toxins kind of mixing. And they're also like they have like a meshing ability that might be able to. It might be able to help to kind of restore the kind of the brain capacity, so she'll maintain her memories and all that stuff. We're going to find there's some other factors at play, along with the magic of Jada Pinkett Smith. But also, importantly, so the experiment
quite as magical as Alex Ribeiro.
Of course not. Not even an inkling of that. But importantly, though, so again, cuttlefish is very important. So cuttlefish regenerative stuff is plugged in the fish mooney, along with the freeze revival compound, along with twice the maximum voltage, which is 200%.
Oh boy.
I know it doesn't work like that, folks. So, I mean, we've had in Avengers, we had the 400% gag, so I'm going to let it slide. Anyway.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm just figuring it's like 100% 2 times. That's what I'm guessing they mean by that. Anyway, like 2 machines at 100%, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so meanwhile, what's going on?
We have a really funny scene with Enigma and the cannibal character. I forget his exact name.
I got a funny story about this, Steve. I know what the writers did for this scene. It's so hilarious.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so Enigma's being punished via his new cellmate, Mr. Stirk, who is kind of very cannibal-looking man. He's got shark teeth, and he's like, he's like being.
I'm hungry.
This is a hysterical way to punish Enigma, I gotta say. It's terrifying, and I feel bad for him still. But just being like, if he's chained to the other side, Stirk's chained. There's like a cannibal with shark teeth, been mutated with shark teeth, and he's like, and just Enigma's scared out of his gourd as Miss Peabody enjoys it from the wings. Yeah, Miss Peabody is Nurse Ratched.
Miss Peabody has been a really good character throughout the season. And she is an original, right?
Yeah, she is an original. Yes.
Yeah. I think she's had a really good presence throughout.
Again, I think she's kind of. I think not to the same effect, but I think they're going for she's kind of strange as Gilzine.
Oh God, yeah, I can see that in a way, but she doesn't have awesome guitar music.
Would you stop with the guitar? I tried.
I will never stop with the guitar music.
I tried watching it again before this, and still nothing. It kills the.
No, we'll get to that in the finale. I love that Gilzine has awesome guitar music now. I think
weighing on the other
character.
I
think it fits the character so well.
But anyway. So let's see. So Enigma's being punished by his new cellmate. Mr. Stirk here is very hungry. And I'll tell you what they did here. They did what every time I look on Wikipedia, just for here's the writers did. They did the mistake that myself and I assume every other kind of Bat fan has done at one point.
Yeah.
Go to Wikipedia just to kind of see, like, you type in like list of Batman's enemies. You scroll down and you find Cornelius Stirk is mentioned. This guy is called Stirk, Mr. Stirk. So I can assume we're all assuming Cornelius Stirk. But here's the gag. One of the big famous stories with Arkham Asylum, which we've way back in the beginning of this second half of the season, I drew reference to. There's a story called Arkham Asylum: Living Hell, which is about this character called about a businessman who gets put into Arkham, and he becomes the Great White Shark.
Yeah.
So here's the gag, Tiki.
I actually think I've read that.
So actually, again, except for the magic stuff in that story, it's a really good story.
Mm-hmm.
But point is, so everyone, you would think my initial reaction is like, oh my God, that's the great white shark from the story. That's cool. It's a little throwaway gag. That's awesome. But here's the thing: they call him Mr. Stirk, and if you look on Wikipedia, like we've all done, you see Cornelius Stirk, and Stirk looks like shark, and you're thinking, oh, that's a great white. That's the great white shark from that one story. But no, the great white shark is just called the great white shark. So that's what they were going for. They were going for the great white shark, but they mixed up the name, so they didn't catch it in time.
Right.
I'm convinced that's what happened, because it's like, again, he looks exactly like the great white shark, but he's called. Let me tell you what Cornelius Stirk's powers were in the comics to show you how different it is. So he looks like a shark, but he could excrete fear toxin. That was his power in the comics.
Okay.
He was like, basically he could excrete fear toxin. If he touched you, he would basically excrete fear toxin and you live your worst nightmares.
Gotcha.
So I'm just saying it's kind of like, I guess maybe that's a sub power, but probably not. I'm just saying they mixed up the characters. That's a little mistake on their part. It's a little funny one to catch.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so Peabody.
Okay. So yeah, Peabody's just saying, Nigma's kind of bargaining like, I know how to stop Jim Gordon. It's obvious that the GCPD knows. They've been here two days in a row. And then Peabody's just like, no, what? Do I really have to say it? You're making monsters in the basement.
I just love this like last minute desperate confession, like, please, I can help you, as he's being like, lunged at by a monster, and Miss Peabody's like telling the monster, shut up, like, be quiet. Listen to this kid. And
but I'm hungry.
No, but basically, it kind of hooks Peabody with a mention of Jim Gordon. Says, look, he's going to be here. Just relay it to Professor Strange now, please. He needs my help. Anyway, so while Nigma's shrieking in terror, like anyone would, and by the way, everyone thinks it's Killer Croc. It is not Killer. Almost everyone thinks it's Killer
Croc. I didn't think it was.
Everyone jumps to Killer Croc. It is not Killer Croc.
Oh, I didn't think that.
Hey, let's see. Next, okay, take us to the next bit.
Okay, so once again, this is kind of like a Terry Gilliam-esque thing with the Fish Mooney reanimation. Did you know I was going to say that?
Well, no, I know it's a very over-the-top awakening.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this is another thing that Terry Gilliam does with the whole like kind of time-lapse thing with kind of putting multiple different images of people over each other and that kind of stuff. It's very stylistic, Yeah. And then Fish Mooney reanimates and they're like, go get Strange. Okay.
But I think in a saying something, that's such a fun statement to make. Go get Strange. Go get Professor Strange.
Right.
I just love there's like some sort of medical conference. You had Hugo Strange meeting Stephen Strange.
I would love that to happen, but that's
and they have like little name tags that says Dr. Stephen Strange and Professor Hugo Strange.
S Strange, H Strange.
Oh, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. What is your field? Neurosurgery and sorcery. What's your field? Genetic engineering and psychiatry.
Isn't it funny that both our names sound like we would be straight out of a comic book? I mean, what are the odds that there'd be two doctors named Strange? All right.
Anyway, let's see. So Alfred's telling Bruce if he doesn't hear any word from him in an hour, he's going to Bullock and tell him that put out an APB, put out a manhunt to go into Arkham and save him.
He's telling Bruce that he could stick Bruce on an airplane and fly him very, very far away, but he's not going to. He's not going to because he has respect for Bruce. Yeah.
But with that respect, he has a really great line here where he says, I see your father in you, and I see that you would do you would do what your father Thomas Wayne would do if he were here. You take responsibility, and I know you won't stop. Basically you're exactly like your father. You're going to take responsibility. There's nothing I can do to stop you, really.
Also, I know this isn't a big revelation since it's like, it's the end of season 2, but we get confirmation that it's been 2 years since the start of the series, so that's nice. That's nice.
Then we get the shot of kind of Alfred alone, which I get it goes by real quick. It's kind of a poignant shot of like, Bruce is leaving Alfred, he will years down the line as Batman's kind of leaving Alfred, giving words of encouragement. Then Alfred's kind of alone. His son has gone off from the battle, proverbially.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, take us to this one, Tiki.
Okay. So Strange is welcoming Fish Mooney back into the world, and Fish is feeling rather confused. He's asking, "Do you remember your name, my dear? You are a war goddess. Your name is Andros." And then, Fish just interrupts him, "No, my name is Fish Mooney."
Then to Strange.
He's taken aback. He's like, "What did you just say?" "I said my name is Fish Mooney." "Bitch." Dramatic pause.
There's not as much of a dramatic pause.
No, not as much. Not as much.
See, here's the thing. Let me talk about this.
It's so great. It's just it's wonderful to have Jada Pinkett Smith back on the show. I agree with you. They don't really give her much to do, and I'm kind of bothered by the whole mind control thing. But just her delivery. "I said my name is Fish Mooney, bitch. It's so great. It's so great.
Let me say this about the line. I think the initial use of that is great. It is. It's an awesome moment for
You
her.
just don't like the fact that they're trying to turn it into a catchphrase.
It's like they're trying. Only the one to get away with that is Jesse Pinkman. Okay, you can't make her into Jesse Pinkman. it gets like it's almost like a strong independent woman thing. It's like I'm using that on everyone.
No, I hear you.
It's like that's my new catchphrase. I gotta remind people that I'm cool. It's like
you really like the delivery, and she kind of filed that in the back of my mind. She's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use that again."
Yeah. It's like they're trying to make that into the new "my bare hands and my teeth."
Oh, don't get me started on that. All right.
Well, she is using her bare hands.
She is using her hands, yes, much like Stephen Strange.
Yep. Anyway, let's see. So, point is, so Fish is tough talk. Fish is then tough talking Strange in a cell on the black and white TV, and Strange is and she's amused. They're all kind of amused.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she's not amused. Even Strange is very amused. Like they're all. Strange is so happy in this scene. He's like,
and Peabody, like a rare moment of Fish and Peabody, or Strange and Peabody, just kind of laughing in unison with each other.
That's what I mean. Like they're so amused.
We did it.
And then this is a moment I really love the pseudoscience, and again, I do love they're kind of like an actual scientist. They're kind of mulling over the possibilities here. So they're on the hallway. They're pondering the how. So the how is. Well, might have been the cuddle. I love Strange again. BD Wong, he sells the science jargon so well. So he has
experience selling science jargon. I mean, that's kind of what made the name of it.
I know that's what I mean. He gives it such good credibility, like you need with all these.
Exactly.
Let's just face a lot of the science in the season.
I mean, he was the man behind the Jurassic Park exposition, and look how popular Jurassic Park is.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway, so you see is how the. Again, he sells it, and let's face it, this season is really out there with the science, and they're really making us buy the impossible here. But again, you have to have a really good actor to kind of make us buy into that. It's just Strange proving that right here.
Right.
He says, well, it might have been the cuttlefish DNA, or the increased voltage, or Gotham's polluted water. Then Peabody points out there are abnormalities found in her brain function, which might lead to some abilities. Mm-hmm. Which we're going to see those abilities later on. And again, I'm thinking that's Cuttlefish's toxin at work, but more on that later. Point is, Enigma is... let's see what's going on here next.
She just asked Strange, shall we give Enigma a go? And she's just like, yes, he's very clever. He's found his way to Indian Hills, so let's see what he can do. And he has a point. He does know James Gordon. I don't want to undersell. I mean, I love Hugh Strange in that moment where he's like in such a good mood. Says, "Oh, sure, let's give him a shot." Right.
It's just like says,
"Be let out of the cell with the cannibal."
Yes, he found his way to the basement, and he's made one thing abundantly clear: he knows James Gordon.
Oh yeah, and he does.
Because I love it. It's so cute.
James Gordon is Batman.
Yeah, it's so adorable. So Hugh Strange like, oh, give the lad a shot. Okay. It's just like, just like, let the kid watch over the store for the night. Give him a shot.
Steal $10 out of the register like Jimmy McGill.
Anyway, okay, let's see. So then they get a call, and again, this is where BD Wong just steals the episode here. Oh my God! Like, from this point forward is when he really steals. He's been good up to this point. He gets great after this point.
Oh yeah.
Where they get a call and it says, Bruce Wayne's at the gate, and you see his reaction here. It's like, oh, Bruce Wayne.
Ooh, and he's intrigued. He's not angry. He's intrigued. He's like, ooh, a wrinkle in the story.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne continues to intrigue me. I'm very impressed. He has guts.
Yes, and he, Miss Peabody says, should I get rid of him or tell him you're unavailable? Says, no, I very much want to speak with him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Bruce meets Strange, and I just love again our characters knowing something the other one doesn't. Here, Bruce knows that Strange is responsible for his parents' death.
Sure.
And the fact that, again, this is what the season's been paying ever since the spec on the season.
There's a specific moment between Bruce and Strange that we'll get to that's like a split second that I think is the creepiest Strange moment of the entire series. It's a little later on.
All right. One is this is a great moment. This is like what's been this is what's been building since the spec on this season. Bruce Wayne's going to be able to play kind of the professional kind of playboy, kind of philanthropist side of Bruce Wayne in
I
this
wouldn't
scene.
necessarily in this moment he's a playboy, but yeah, I get where you're going for.
I mean, he's playing the dual identity of Bruce Wayne.
Sure, yeah.
He's playing kind of the charming kind of philanthropist here in this scene, like the unsuspecting, like that Bruce Wayne, he's a real airhead, but he hands out the checks. That's what this guy does. So the point is, Bruce Wayne, he meets Hugo Strange, and he says, "Oh, your father was very dear to me," and he offers his condolences. And again, he's really, in this moment, you can tell Strange is playing mind games with him. He's trying to elicit a reaction so he can gauge Bruce's reaction, but Bruce isn't. He shakes his hand again, as much as Bruce really hates Strange.
Oh yeah, when he lets out to say again, it's like what I love about Strange and Bruce is like the most subtle gestures from BD Wong have the biggest impact. It's like just reaching out the hand. It's like it's like oh god. It's like that's the last thing Bruce wants to do.
And then he has this great line to Bruce where he says, remember, Bruce, this was all made possible because of the Wayne Foundation." I mean, just how biting that is. He's really playing mind games with him, saying, "Hey, all of this because of your family." Oh boy! And then Bruce is requesting a tour again. I love he's kind of playing kind of the billionaires. Bruce Wayne here is just playing. He says, "Well, I know there are rules here, but I mean, surely the people that are responsible for the funding, you'd be able to bend those rules." Well, of course. So he's being so charming, that BD Wong here, and he's saying, "Oh, my Lucius Fox, I was hoping to speak with you in your office while my associate Mr. Fox here could walk around tour the facility. Well, if he will be accompanied by Miss Peabody, I'm sure we can work something out." And he says, "Okay, while you and I chat." Okay, Lucius says, "Okay, sounds excellent. We're all good for that. Let me get my coat." Goes to the trunk. As Strange and Bruce are heading inside, once coast is clear, we see this image I still think is really funny. Just Jim Gordon.
Gordon holed up in the trunk.
I love Gordon like hidden in the trunk in the guard uniform. You see where this is going. Just like, oh boy. This Jim Gordon dressed as a guard in the trunk, and the plan is he's going to go in there. Plan is going to mark. Lucius Fox is going to mark off what he finds, and Gordon's going to look out for a little marking of like, hey, the secret entrance is through this way, so we can go down there, get the evidence, and call in Bullock. That's the plan. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the caper begins. So we got Gordon again, really well edited sequence, by the way. We got Gordon walking in there as a guard, and again, I like that. The flaw of this plan is at first you think, okay, we're just going to give it a pass, but no, it does come back into play in a big way.
Oh yeah.
Here, where you think, okay, well. Obviously, everyone in Gotham knows what Jim Gordon looks like because he was a wanted man. So he walks in there, face exposed as a guard. The guards are giving him a second look because they know exactly who he is. Plus, he's been in Arkham a few times.
Right.
But again, big flaw in the plan. But again, they call him on it, though. I like that.
They do.
So let's see. So again, Gordon's in there as a guard. He plays the expired access card ploy, expired ID. The guards are instantly onto him. Lucius is really scared of the rec room filled with all the inmates. Asking about the uniforms and all that stuff. Let's see. He's pulling out the Geiger counter. Meanwhile, Strange... oh, boy. You want to take us to some of this awesome Strange stuff?
Sure. So Strange basically is with Bruce, and there's no pleasant... I mean, there is pleasant with him because there's tea involved, and Howard Hamlin's happy with that, But there's no pleasantries in terms of, like, small talk. He wants to get straight to the point. He's like, let's just address it, Bruce. The other day, James Gordon came to see me, and he asked about a project. And it's my belief that he was acting on your behalf.
I just love like the first line that he has there. It says like let's address the real reason for your visit.
Right.
So then he brings up the Jim Gordon thing, and then Bruce again. He's really playing Bruce is playing this very well. Again, I love seeing kind of the dual identity side of Bruce Wayne here. He's just playing kind of the guy with the secret life here. He's like he's hiding things really well as Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. Here where he says, "Oh well, I did hire a detective. I hired Jim Gordon." To look into things way back when. He doesn't alert me to all the findings, so if he overstepped, I'm very sorry. And again, I love you just playing like, oh, if he did anything wrong, I'm so sorry. He's apologizing for Gordon there. Like he's holding the cards close to the vest here. Very nice. And then we get this really tense psychoanalysis that's about to start with the tea. Then we have the tea pleasantries. He's pouring them tea and he's giving them tea. So basically, it's like looking. He knows that Bruce is like looking for you're looking for a reason, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Basically
You
looking
want
for a reason.
someone to blame. You can't accept that your parents' death was merely an accident or a passing thing or whatever he says.
Yeah, basically it says you're looking for someone to blame. So and then Bruce saying, "Yes, so do I. I believe there's someone. There's a reason. There's someone to blame. Also, something along that line." Anyway, so Peabody spots the Geiger counter. She's instantly questioning this again. So Lucius is done for. We know that much.
Oh, yeah.
But I love I love my tech jargon, and he's saying, "Oh, it's a micro particle." And it basically measures microparticles. So I was using that as just like see what the air quality is essentially. It's
right for patients with asthma and stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to make sure your facility
This
is good.
Is a great delivery from Peabody. It's like he's like, so far you're doing good, and Peabody's just like, I'm so relieved.
Peabody has gotten better in these last two. I mean, she's really great on par, fantastically in these last two episodes. Let's see. So Lucius finds the entrance. He marks it off quickly. Then he rejoins Peabody. Meanwhile, yes. Things getting really tense between Strange and Bruce here. He's just saying, yes.
I love how he's talking about the luxury of science and clashing with moral principles, and that's not, science and moral principles don't make good bedmates.
But again, like that.
I'm sorry, that line might be a little bit later, but
yeah, that whole line starts with this great little personal thing that kind of leads into that line where he says, yes, that look there, you have that same certain look of Thomas Wayne. Basically the look of absolute certainty.
I love how Strange is getting a little bit nostalgic for Thomas Wayne when he's encountering Bruce. It's like he does have some fondness for Thomas in this episode.
And again, you can tell in this scene that Strange does have some genuine regret of Thomas's morality ending their friendship in a way. Right. And which of course led to his death. And I think Strange in this scene is really questioning, was it worth it though? Is that morality worth it in the end? Anyway, I think that it's a line he says too. Like he questions. The question is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's see. So
and then he basically just comes straight out. He's like, if he didn't have that morality, he wouldn't be dead. Along with your mother, are those ordeals worth it? Would you trade everything you had for 1 day, 1 hour with your parents alive?
Oh yeah, then Bruce just
instantly jumping on it. He's just like, so you admit it? You admit what you did?
Oh yeah.
Right. Here's what I admit, Bruce. If I were your father's friend, I was your father's friend. I pleaded with him as I plead with you now. Turn back. You have those you care about. Make a choice your father did not. So basically he's saying, like, if you don't stop this, I will fucking kill you and everyone you care about.
Yeah, but let's just
basically laying out a Gus frame right here.
Yeah, let's just take a moment to just address. I mean, I really love this idea, Tiki, of just like Hugo Strange. He was genuine friends with Thomas Wayne there, and it really killed him. Yeah, it was kind of like almost maybe like a Magneto, Professor Xavier, or maybe more appropriately, kind of like a Jor-El, General Zod thing. They were actually friends, they just had different ideologies.
I think Jor-El Zod is probably a better comparison because they were friends and also kind of co-workers in a way.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
they're
they
not
just
co-workers, but they were partners in a project. They were kind of building something together.
They were both on the same path, but then they realized they took
right.
There was a wedge in between them. The point is, I just love that this is kind of like Hugo Strange. The reason he took this meeting Bruce Wayne is like he knew he's probably on to him. He's going to give his friend's son a chance of survival. Saying, "Look, I regret what happened, and it had to be done. I don't believe me. I really hate that happened. Essentially saying I didn't want to kill your father."
I believe him. I think BD Wong is genuine in this moment.
I just love that he's looking out for his friend's son. He's saying, "Look, I care about. I'm warning you. I'm begging with you. Please don't go down this path, or else you're going to share the same fate. I can't bear to kill the son of my friend. Please don't do this." Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's such great humanity of Hugo Strange in this episode. Again, Hugo Strange has been pretty close to the chest. You don't really see the humanity until Bruce Wayne's involved. It's just a huge, awesome thing. I mean, Hugo Strange has all these great little intricacies, but this is where the humanity is really showing through. I'm loving it.
Right.
Anyway, let's see. So after that, he pleads with him to make a choice. Then Bruce, let's see, what does Bruce say here? The guards are. Let's see. Jim finds the marking, and he heads to the elevator.
Mm-hmm. And he hears the
He hears
coming from the wall.
Yeah, he hears the elevator. It's coming up. Then let's see. All right. Strange says, "How does it feel?" Like the answer's right in front of you. Your father orphaned you. After all this time, the answer's been right in front of you. I'm sorry. Would you like this?
Yeah, I feel Bruce's like anger in this scene. It's like it's strange. It's just like he's cutting into him. He knows that his words are like bullets in this instance.
Speaking of bullets, I love how this is weaved. This is just great. All these lines are so perfect, and just the perfect words to kind of set Bruce off.
Right. So he's like, "You are searching for the man who killed your parents, but the answers were right in front of you. Thomas's actions fired the bullet. He made you an orphan. I'm begging you not to follow his path. You want to know? I'm sorry. Bruce, he has a really good moment. He's like, you want to know if my parents were alive? Of course I wish my parents were alive. But my father fought and died for what he believed is right, and if it's necessary, I will too." Really good Bruce Wayne moments right there. I think Bruce Wayne, again, like we're kind of like, I think in general this season has been really good for giving each character a solid arc. I think it's been better than season 1 in that regard.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So then there's a great moment of pause that happens. Then Strange is like on the intercom, or a little something. He says,
"Oh, wait. Here's my favorite Strange moment." So did you catch where Strange he's reaching out to kind of tap Bruce on his shoulder, like, there, son, I'm proud of you. And then Bruce just like backs away. I fucking love that. Oh. And I want to think that BD Wong kind of improvised that in the moment. I don't know, but either way, I think it's a terrific. It's just like Strange just can't help himself. But even when the cards are fully on the table, he's still trying to be all like, "Oh, there, son. You are just like your father. I'm going to tap you on the shoulder and tell you how proud of you I am."
Well, two things. I want to mention two things here because the next episode is really not going to delve upon it. Really kind of hint at it at all.
No, the next episode is not really going to delve upon much of anything, but we'll get there.
But seriously, I just want to bring up two of the excellent things here with all this great dynamic between BD Wong and our young Bruce Wayne here, David Mizzou is. It's one I love because in the comics the way it goes, Hugo Strange is obsessed with Batman and by proxy Bruce Wayne because he figures out who Bruce Wayne is.
Oh.
And I'm saying I love how they brought that together. I've been telling you since the first season of the show. I mean, when on Wikipedia and there's all the news articles and they announce like all the characters that they're going to bring to life. And it's so funny now you look at it, all those characters have been brought to life in these 2 seasons. But finally, I mean, I've been telling you since day one, Hugo Strange, because Hugo Strange is such, again, the idea of like even Kevin Smith and Paul Dean with their Batman show pitch, like the idea of Hugo Strange is such a personal villain. Like this is the idea in a prequel show you could have it like Bruce Wayne, obviously traumatized by the death of his parents. He goes to get some psychiatric help. Who would it be? Hugo Strange, who like so intrigued by this child, he will know years down the line that he's Batman. But I love kind of their own stamp on it here, though. That Hugo Strange was. So, if you're gonna have someone be behind the death of Bruce's parents, not counting the core vows, which don't wrong, they orchestrated the whole thing and forced Hugo Strange's hand. The point is, if you're gonna have
of course,
it's such an interesting idea. That's if you're gonna tie someone, add like kind of an additional cog in the wheel when you don't really need one.
It's a very satisfying answer to the whole mystery that we've been stretched out through season 1 of like, oh, who killed Bruce Wayne's parents? Who ordered his death?
Like if you're gonna make that again, you're gonna make some unnecessary addition to that. I mean, at least if you're going to do that, you're going to make it a really interesting addition. You know, with the Hugo Strange thing, it's like a personal thing where again, when it's setting up that great dynamic, they're going to have years down the line. Like Hugo Strange and Bruce Wayne have such a personal thing going on there. Where in this case, they made it super personal. Like I killed your parents, I really didn't want to. Mm-hmm. And again, he's providing some. Again, this is in the next episode. He does provide helpful psychoanalysis on Bruce and Gordon in the next episode, which is really awesome. Again, through really hurtful things he's doing, he is actually providing excellent psychoanalysis.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a part of psychology. You know, I think Edwards was right. You know, in Bates Motel, sometimes you have to kind of hit rock bottom before you get better, and I've learned that that's very much the case.
You know, Strange is in quite a more direct version of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But regardless, I just love that.
What if Strange and Edwards were just co-workers?
And then I guess Finnegan was like the flunk out of their psychology.
Finnegan.
That's the thing. He was the flunk. He flunked.
Oh god.
But no, but seriously, I mean, you see what I mean?
Finnegan was like they're all three of them are roommates, and then Finnegan was the fuck up who couldn't pay the rent, and they had to kick him out.
Yeah. Okay, but seriously, though, this last thing here, but it was such an interesting idea. This, if you're going to connect him over that, again, he does give Bruce some really good stuff to chew on in the next scene about what he's saying. Your father was responsible for your own undoing there.
Sure.
And also, it kind of gives you an idea, if you really look back at the episodes of Hugo Strange, now you think maybe the reason he's going for like the godfatherhood thing is because on some level he's thinking of Bruce Wayne, perhaps.
Maybe.
I'm not saying shoot it down. I'm just saying it's an option. You know, it's maybe.
No, I hear you.
I'm saying point is he's going for the father thing a lot more than he probably should. Maybe that's the reason. Aside from the bonds to a father, it might be, you know, I feel guilty that I orphaned a kid here, so maybe I want to be a father.
Right.
It's like, yeah, he's trying to be that father figure to Bruce Wayne, even though Bruce Wayne will never accept him on that level.
That doesn't stop him, though, from doing something quite terrifying, which is just kind of calling in his orderlies, and Bruce Wayne is just kind of sent into the loony bin, kind of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest style.
Again, I just love how intimidating they play this moment where, again, we've seen really nicely that everyone's on kind of like a tight wire of, like, you know, they know Jim Gordon's in there, but, you know, it's a question of does Miss Peabody know about Lucius, and then
sure.
A minute, but you know, like they're all walking a tightrope here, and then just Hugo Strange just like melts all the tension away, saying, "Take them. I knew the whole time." And again, you see that he would know the whole time, and it's just, you know, take them, watch them. Anyways, then they all get taken, and you know, not Liam Neeson stuff. They all get taken in a dramatic way. They're all captured. And then Hugo Strange has an excellent line as the men in the white coats take Bruce Wayne away. He says, right before he gets taken away, he says, "You're your father's son. I want you to know how greatly I respect that." That's a great line. He says, again, I respect that you've made the same choices of your father, even though I didn't want you to make those choices. I respect that you are your father's son. Then Bruce is like desperate, saying, "Where's Selena?" And again, I gotta love B.D. Wong. The littlest moment, he sells so much because he gives a look of interest. Oh my God, this boy's so remarkable. He even cares about the girl that went in here.
Yeah, he's like, ooh.
You know, he just sells it with like a little look of like a little minor intrigue of like, huh, he knows that.
Right.
Okay.
It's kind of like a George Takei, like, ooh, my.
So next scene.
Okay, so
George Takei, he's really letting Marvel have it these days.
Really, I haven't been following that.
Anyway, so Selena, speaking of her.
Okay, so she's firing the flamethrower, trying to get through the steel. Kind of reminded me of that moment from Phantom Menace where they're using the lightsabers to get through the blast doors.
Well, a little less effective.
Yeah. But and then Bridget, she's assuring Bridget that Bruce is going to find them and they're going to all get out. Everything's going to be okay. She's pretty desperate.
We're going to have tea with Howard Hamlin. It's all going to be awesome.
Oh, God. Have pimento sandwiches with Mike. Okay, so, but then Firefly awakens. Then, okay, so.
She's eyeing the other flamethrower, which we know is going to be a Mexican standoff a little later on. Meanwhile, Fish Mooney.
Bitch.
Don't. That's not helping. Anyway, so Fish asks where she is to the orderly. Orderly's kind of making the lunch orders, bringing her a pimento sandwich. No, not that's.
But Jim, it's lunch. It's a really gross lunch, by the way. It's like gruel and then like old vegetables. It looks.
It's
really
nowhere
bad.
near. It's nowhere near as classy as Pineview.
No, not at all.
Anyway, but seriously, I love there's like a little bit. She's asking where she is as a callback to the like. Tell me we're not on an island. I love it. The little barb at the first season. Yeah, we know we overstepped with the Fish Mooney stuff.
Yeah.
So I do love that because again, Fish Mooney. A lot of people are harsh on Fish Mooney, and really, to be honest, she was good.
I think you and I both agreed she was really good right up until the Dollmaker stuff.
I mean, look, even with the Dollmaker stuff, it was unnecessary for the season. Out of context, it was kind of a neat position to put her in, but really frivolous given what happened with the story.
But then you and I both agree, like, for sure, she kind of fell apart in the final episode. That was not very flattering.
Yeah, again, I still hated Selena and her hairstyle, and yes, she did fall apart.
And then killing Maroni.
I mean, let's say this.
I
do think, though, the final of the first season was far superior to the final of this season.
I will say that. I'll agree with that. Yeah.
At least we got to see
I
Barbara's
can't
head
argue
knocked in
there.
a little bit in the first season. You know, you got to see Leslie knocking Barbara's head into the ground.
And then we get, that's true. And then we get the awesome moment with the penguin at the end. I'm the king of Gotham.
Yeah, I mean, come
even
on.
if he could fall off that ledge very easily.
I'm still, my favorite scene from that is Gordon and Falcone on the side. They're talking about the knife.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I will agree with you. The season 2 finale kind of falters, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, let's see. So, point is, Fish Moon is telling the orderly she wants I got a lot of randomnesses, though. You know,
I like grilled cheese, man. Grilled cheese is a fucking excellent comfort.
No, let me tell you what I think. You know, let me tell you, this actually might be a secret Batman reference. It'd be awesome if this is what they're going for. See, in the animated series, and this is an episode you did see, in the third episode, the Joker went the whole last laugh episode. He says when Batman's over like the giant flame pit of the melting of the garbage chute, he says you're gonna melt you like a grilled cheese sandwich or something like that. I gotta wonder if that's a callback to that.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome if that was his point. She said.
But I can relate to Fish Mooney in this moment. It's like she came back from the dead. She's locked up. She just wants a grilled cheese. You know, grilled cheese is like a good comfort food.
Then Mike Ehrmantraut next still saying, "I want a pimento sandwich." 2 pimento sandwiches. Anyway, so Fish Mooney, she asked for the grilled cheese. She asked for the grilled cheese sandwich, but as she did that, she grabbed it. I gotta tell you, this is a big security flaw. Arkham is notorious for having bad security, but in this episode and the next one, this is very apparent.
Oh, the next one. Oh, God. Yeah.
That slot for the food is way too big. Okay.
Right.
And plus, it can be opened from the other side. That's stupid.
That's a mistake. Yeah.
The point is, Fish Mooney, she grabs the hand because there's a big enough slot she can do that, and you'll notice the tox. Again, I don't know. I think it might be a lot of what Strange is saying. Like she has.
All right, I'll write that off, fine, but that's some wonky science.
I'm saying because we know Galavin came back with super strength, and I'm saying that mixed with the pollution and the toxin. I think the toxin is what they're going for. Why it's a mind
toxin equals mind control, sure.
Okay, but seriously, I'm saying the toxin it somehow breaches. It's like infects another person. That's what they're going for.
I mean, I'll go with that explanation, but I don't buy that explanation.
Well, again, it's not that. I think it's just making them susceptible. I don't think it's like full on mind control.
No, I'm pretty sure it's full-on mind control, but
we don't read it. She doesn't do enough next episode to really.
I mean, it's not necessarily mind control, but it's definitely like you will do what I say. You know.
I'm saying it's like a power of hypnosis sort of thing. You know, it's like not full-on like you're my slave forever. It's like I just gave you a command, and you're going to do that command.
Oh, okay.
Point is, I think just the toxin makes you susceptible to like suggestion. Anyway, regardless, point is, she tells that he asks for the grilled cheese sandwich. Then the guy just he takes away the lunch. He's like, "Hey," and then the little glowing hand bitch. She walks away, and I don't think she's looking at her hands yet. Again, we love hand shots. If you learn nothing from our Doctor Strange reaction video, point is, Selena. We cut to then. The point is, a little toxin thing there, and a little mind control thing set up in that scene. Meanwhile, Selena observes. Strange observes Jim and Bruce in their cells. Peabody. This is a great scene between Strange and Peabody. Take us through it.
Okay. So Strange is just Peabody saying that Strange. He's just he's reminiscing. He's like I miss Thomas. As ironic as that seems, I really miss him.
Again, I love she's like his mom in this scene. It's
like, now Hugo, you know the boy's a threat.
She voices the lot. Again, she's like the logical argument as well as like kind of in a motherly sense almost. It's like that someone will come for Bruce, and very important. Like someone will come for the boy billionaire. And it says you like him, don't you? It says again. It's kind of like Blind Al, vaguely like Blind Al. It's like the voice, the kind of that figure in the room just saying, you need to do this. No. Just him. In this case, Strange's a lot more receptive to that, saying, he reminds me of Thomas, who I miss. As ironic as that sounds, the boy's a threat, and there's not much time. And again, I love that she's saying, look, I sympathize with you, Strange. You and I we know each other a long time, but look, the court's not going to like this kid being involved.
Oh, yeah.
And speak of the devil, and the devil shall appear. It's the court. The court appears on the TV.
I like how Peabody she's just like, oh no.
And I love that this is their the big bosses of the Court of Owls, and they know not to mess with these guys. And then Strange is very again they know not to mess with these guys.
The best part of the scene is that Strange is obviously under a lot of stress, but he's trying so goddamn hard to make it look like he has everything under.
That's what I'm saying, Tiki. If you knew the Court of Owls, you'd know not to mess with these guys. That's why Strange is tiptoeing around him here, because these guys are the they're the puppet masters of all of Gotham for centuries now. That's what these guys are.
I think the best moment is he just has that kind of really nervous laugh. He's like, everything is under control.
Yeah, he's super pleasant to the court here. He's just saying,
right.
They notice his obsession with you. I notice your obsession with the Wayne boy. And judging from, just to boil it down, judging from Azrael and Freeze, he's losing sight of the mission. The court makes direct reference here that their goal is to grant immortality in rebirth.
Right.
With the minds intact. Again, if they want to bring back their own people, they need the minds intact. Otherwise, they're just bringing back monsters, and they don't want that. It's like defeats the whole purpose.
They say he's failed at that so far. And then Strange is just like, oh, but I have brought someone back. I love how satisfied Strange is. He's like, oh, but I did do something right. Okay, I can run.
Yeah, Strange is secretly holding the trump card. Again, first he's very intimidated. Right. He realizes, oh yes, I do have the trump card. It's like he can be yelled. It's like he's so happy, he's being yelled at. He says, I know I'm going to get out of trouble.
Exactly.
Where he says. When I said that, I just imagined he was doing a little victory dance with his fist in the air, to the side. I'm gonna get out of trouble, like a little lambada.
Okay.
Anyway,
emotion, the soul itself, it's all there.
Oh yeah, and the court is pleased. They're intrigued. And he says, "Well, can you repeat the process? If given more time, yes." And he says, "You'll be granted more time." But she is told to. She tells Strange specifically they're going to have to move him to a new facility.
Yeah.
Move to a new facility and destroy the current one.
Okay, now BlueDragonFive, I have a major problem with the season finale. The biggest disappointment of the season finale for me.
Should we say some stuff about the season finale for next time?
Sure, but I have to tell you this one thing because it just really bothers me, okay?
Real quick.
Okay, a bomb is involved, right? A bomb is the main plot device, and yet Bane is nowhere to be seen. Come on! All right, I'm just kidding. I just had to get that joke out.
Well, it does look very 60s-esque, though.
It is, but I'm just expecting, bomb! Anyways. I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's see.
It's just an odd thing with Bane. It's both times he's as different as Bane has been throughout his two incarnations on screen. It's he has been a henchman to the lead villain or the lead villainess who carries around a bomb. It's so funny.
See, secretly, he's in the Muppet version of the Batman movies. You have him as Bane. The explosion, the one in charge of the explosions is Bane.
Oh God!
Yes.
Yes.
Did someone say explosions?
Somebody say explosions. Oh yes. No. All right.
Anyway.
By the way, have you seen Kevin Smith's latest video?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, it's curious.
But he does it all. He did it all the time in Hollywood Babylon. I know the Bane routine.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was the mosquito thing again. Very but more Jurassic World callbacks. But anyways,
back to this. So the point is, facility is going to be planned for the facility, move everyone, and blow it up. Let's see. Did they explicitly say get rid of the Wayne boy, or is that for they're going to get into that next time?
I don't have it in my notes.
Right, no. I think that's next time, but it's kind of implied that Strange knows Bruce Wayne's in trouble here. He's not happy about that. Anyway, so Fish is brought her sandwich by the orderly. So again, she has powers of persuasion now.
The guy's kind of confused about it. He's like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds temporary to me.
Too. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, let's see. So again, it's she can rewrite her own synapse. So I think she can do that to other people with a touch, maybe. I don't know. Regardless. Kind of like a Shocky thing too, maybe. I don't know. It's she was a lot of voltage in there. Maybe I'm looking too much into pseudoscience. Moving on. So Selena and Bridget, they have their little flamethrower standoff. The good, the bad, and the severely burned. Well, apparently not so severely, because you look at the face. You see what I was talking about? She doesn't really look too
yes, there's no burns on her
Because you
whatsoever at
remember
all.
the ending of the mid-season that she's like has like all the gnarly kind of yellowish burns on the bandages and everything. It looks really bad. Anyway, so they have a little standoff here. Bridget, Selena's trying to reach her humanity, saying, "Bridget, don't you remember when you took me in after my mother left?
Don't you remember us feeding the pigeons? Don't you remember that crazy old guy who flew into the sun? Don't you remember any of that?
Don't you remember this song we used to sing? Feed the birds, tuppence a bag." And then Penguin jumps in, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. He sails down on the umbrella.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh no!
There's some Mary Poppins jokes. Anyway, point is that she remembers frying her brothers, though, and again, that's like, okay, she remembers something. That's good. Wish she was a little happier, but okay. She lights her. Selena then lights her flame-proof costume, which is a really cool shot, by the way, and again feeds her delusion that she is a fire goddess. Again, Strange was clever with that one. But then Selena does the strategic thing. She actually pulls a penguin. She offers to be her servant.
Oh yeah.
And look, come on, goddesses have servants. That's a rule. Strange left that one out. She buys it, so okay, you're my servant. Meanwhile, Alfred informs Bullock, and this is going to feed into one of my biggest gripes in the next episode, by the way.
Okay.
So right here is properly set up. Again, this episode does all the setup fine. Setup is great in this episode. Alfred informs Bullock that basically Alfred informs Bullock of the plan. Like the three of them, importantly, Lucius, Bruce, and Gordon are in Arkham. They have this whole plan concocted, and then Bullock's like,
that son of a bitch!
Yes, and then Alfred says, "Come on, we gotta go in there. We gotta go in there." And Bullock has an excellent line.
Like, I mean, we could go in here. I'm a pudgy Irish detective. I don't know what he calls.
A pudgy middle-aged Irish detective, and Alfred's just a recently stabbed English butler.
A recently stabbed.
Seriously, he said such a hilarious line.
That's very accurate.
But I think
not one word of that description is wrong.
But I think the acting captain of the GCPD could do a little better. Then we see an army of our strike force guys and the SWAT teams at the ready, which looks really cool. And it's like Bullock would do. It's like, why am I going to get my own hands right? I'm temporary captain. Let's get them all. Let's get the SWAT teams. And honestly, this always proves my longtime theory of one of the reasons I love Jim Gordon is that. I've always said this has kind of always been my quote for Jim Gordon. I've always said that in theory, Gordon could take out, the police department could take down Batman villains without Batman, but it would take it would take a lot of weeks would go by, a lot of people would be hurt in the meantime, and it would ultimately take a legion of SWAT teams.
Right, exactly.
To take down one Batman villain, and he cuts through the red tape by just going directly to Batman. So it's kind of embodied in this, we can take care of this. We need an army of SWAT teams, though. Anyway, so the point is that Bullock's sending the troops in to save Gordon and save Gordon, Bruce, and Lucius. Again, supposedly those three. Big rant next episode. Wait for that one. Okay, so Bruce and Lucius have a really nice heart-to-heart while they're kind of locked in a room together.
Yeah, this is probably the best Lucius Fox moment of the series so far, I think.
So Bruce blames himself for putting everyone in this predicament. Then Lucius points out, Bruce, you may be a charming young lad here, but we all made I don't know how persuasive you think you are. We all made the choice to help.
Right. I love that moment. Oh God, I really like Lucius. I really hope he has a lot more to do in season 3 because they really nailed his casting. Anyways.
Well, they gave him more to do this season. I think
they did. It was definitely a step up. But I want to see him as like a regular supporting character.
Well, they said he was. I think they called him he's in the regular cast for this season. So I think because there's a lot going on this season, next season they should hopefully give him a lot more to do. Right. But then again, we're still shafting Harvey.
And then Harvey Dent might get 3 scenes if we're lucky.
Hey, if we're lucky, can give us anything at this point. We're not going to. I don't think we're ever going to do anything with them until the second half of next season. Honestly.
Oh God. If we do anything at all, but okay.
That's what I mean. If we get any of those 3 scenes, it's going to be the second half. Anyway, but then Bruce again. Interestingly, again, Bruce is taking something from his conversation with Stranger. He's grappling with the notion that his father's choice would do his parents' demise.
Mm-hmm.
But he fought for what he believed in, and as long as there's life, there's hope.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Enigma reveal, and oh my! Again, wonderful setup. Enigma was great in the next one.
He was one of the highlights.
There is a missed opportunity with him in the next one, but still, the beginning and all what's set up here is fantastic. The Enigma's reveal. He's in the control room, the worst place you could ever put the Riddler, because he's going to have all the. You don't want to give him any control like that. He's in the control room, basically behind the glass with Strange and Peabody over the little dials and everything to control the room, and we see, where's Jim Gordon? Oh, I got plans for Jim Gordon. Meanwhile, speaking of Jim Gordon, Jim and Strange have a scene here. It's going to lead to an excellent scene in the next episode. But oh boy, their scene here is great too.
Oh yeah.
He says Jim's telling backup's on the way, and then Strange says, yes. Well, before that, he basically tells his guys to pull out the solution. They're basically pouring the solution into a device that's placed on Jim's head. It's encasing his head and pouring this white gooey solution in there.
And I'm sorry, this is my third Terry Gilliam comparison, but just this thing that they place over his head just very much looks like a gadget out of a Terry Gilliam movie.
It actually does play into an idea I've always wanted to see with the Clayface coming up.
Solution's very important. You mustn't spill a drop.
Meanwhile, the plan is Enigma has a whole slew of basically he's going to torture Bruce and Lucius here with games. He has all these torture games, and he has this big old torture game in store for Bruce and Lucius to find out
who. As crazy as he is, he would make an excellent game show host.
I know, that's the thing. that's the best part about the Riddler here. It feels like classic '60s Batman, but also feels like the Arkham games Riddler too, which is great. Seriously, this is what he would do, and I just love putting him in this position early on. That he'd be trapping Batman in a room essentially and quizzing him. And again, with no Robin in tow, Lucius Fox is a great person to kind of back and forth with on another intelligent guy you're going to be working with. Sure. So again, I just love you putting Riddler in kind of this twisted game show, which also is in Scott Snyder's one of Scott Snyder's chapters in his run. If when Riddler's the bad guy, he basically does this to the whole city. He quizzes them for their own survival.
Okay.
Anyway, let's see. So he says, you find out who and what they know, and then Bruce is saying, let us out of here or something. He says, quiet down, turtleneck. I love he calls Bruce turtleneck. It's
much a direct reference to Val Kilmer at that point, I think.
Yeah, I would say also Michael Key. Again, it's a look in the media with Bruce Wayne. He always has the turtleneck. It looks pretty fun. Again, like in the later animated series, he has the turtleneck too. It looks pretty fun. Let's see. It says you're going to answer that you're going to play ball, or poison gas is going to fill the room.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lucius Fox, again, I love this. He recognizes the voice. I know you. You're Enigma, aren't you? You're the forensic scientist from the GCPD. Ah, Foxy, you know me so well. Again, I love this. All this is paying off in this episode, Tiki. I love this. That they did meet earlier on, to find Jim Gordon. Again, the whole little past these two have together, and that's why he has a little bit of respect for Lucius Fox. Oh, Foxy, you know me so well.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Strange, let's see. All right, Riddler says, okay, 5 minutes on the clock for basically a Riddler death trap here.
Okay.
One second, I'm trying to think what's... So Lucius is... Oh my God, yeah, this is a great moment here. His last bit of the scene before we transfer to the last ending of the episode here. It's Lucius is working... We have this great shot, like Lucius is working on the escape while he says, 5 minutes on the clock, and just Bruce Wayne gives him a Batman glare. That Enigma, it's such a Batman situation to put him in. Again, he's Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne in a room, he's trying to figure things out, figure out how to get out of the room. He's like the overhead shot and all that stuff, while Riddler says, and the fun's going to begin now. It's it's classic Batman. I loved it.
It is. Yeah.
Then we get a great scene here. Oh, boy, it's a great scene. So Jim meets Basil Carlo. And Basil Carlo, Tiki, was the original Clayface, which is a really neat thing. So the idea here, it fits. It's not the end of the world on reinventing Clayface, because, again, there are many versions of Clayface. There's Basil Carlo and Matt Hagen, and there are many others. Those are the only two that matter.
Gotcha.
And Basil Carlo, and this is what I loved about this take on him, Tiki. Basil Karlo in the very original Batman comics back in the Bob Kane, Bill Finger days, he started out as just a guy who would change his face, but he still have his own body before he became just a giant blob of he can shapeshift his whole body. He could just shapeshift his face, which is still enough.
Yeah, right. So you're saying it's a good callback to kind of like the original, like what they were originally doing with Clayface before kind of the animated series. I want to say is maybe the first time.
Well, I'm saying the comics also, like eventually
Okay.
he was full body too. I'm just it kind of made him more Sandman like over time.
Right.
You know, like a better Sandman. You know what I mean? Like he could shapeshift various parts instead of just being sand. But you know.
Which is interesting because I think just changing his face kind of gives him, like, you could almost kind of call him the chameleon at that point.
Exactly. That was the cleverness. They predated chameleon when he did that, and then just when he became fully, I don't know, it was still cool when he's fully Clayface. That was always my argument for, we could see Clayface easily, just the guy who can change his face, and we're finally getting that. And I've always figured if you're ever going to reinvent Batman, and in the animated series they started him off like this, he would just mold the face like the original comics, which was awesome. And I love they're bringing that back. He just starts off with a little face molding thing. Anyway, you're right. Very much like the chameleon, which is another really cool thing. But again, I like this idea that I was disappointed by where they went with this. But again, the setup and what my thought was on this is that he gave Basil Karlo the memory of being a gifted performer and chameleon, which in the comics, all the original Clayface and in the animated series, Clayface is an actor. That's the gag.
Right.
And so again, making him like, I'm sure there are some gods or some like old books like about Greek performers and stuff about people who thought they were excellent performers. Very theatrical, which it's not a big buy. Okay, maybe that's some godlike being or someone from the Old Testament book sort of thing,
Yeah.
So Strange, Gordon, some you belong in your own asylum, Strange. And tell us, Tiki, regale us with this awesome Strange retort that he has. Do you remember?
While you were living your sad and normal lives, I was developing the future, and it belongs. And here comes like the most enunciated Hugo Strange delivery ever.
I'm sorry. Can I build you up to that line?
It's just one word, but sure.
No, I'm saying because you've missed a lot of great lines in between there. I just want to lead you up to that part, if I may. He says, like, his direct response was, and you belong in the past. The world has moved on.
I belong in the past.
The world has moved on while you with everyone else have lived your sad, normal lives.
I just love the sad, normal lives thing.
Yes, I push the boundaries of evolution. The future belongs to my children and my children. That's a good thing. The future is...
here.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, he draws it out so long. It's delicious.
I know, but seriously, just such great. Again, he really knows how to get the cutting response. Here's the thing, Tiki, and I'm so happy with in this episode, and again, the one scene we do have, the main scene we have between these two in the next episode does continue this idea of this season really does cleverly bring to a close, for the most part, what Jim Gordon's arc was this season.
Yeah, definitely.
The whole kind of Jim Gordon has made a lot of mistakes, and Hugo Strange is really bringing those mistakes into the focus so Jim can learn from them in a really interesting way here, where he says, and just the first line out of his mouth is you belong in the past, because Gordon is the character Jim Gordon. He's always thinking of the past. He's thinking of the simpler times, and he's still ushering that into the days where everything's changing around. That's why he's an effective character. He's still thinking of in the past. Let's see. So, he's a simple policeman. That's what it always boils down to with Gordon, and that's one of the most valuable assets. And just Strange can instantly pick up on that. You belong in the past, or you don't accept these modern changes.
Oh yeah.
So then he puts the casting device that's also the molding solution onto Clayface, which it's not bad. Mold him to an exact. Basically, made a plaster cast of Jim Gordon's face with that solution.
Yeah, I was fine with it. Yeah.
And he pours it in there, and he's shaping Carlo's face. And the moment I saw that device put on Jim Gordon's head, I knew where they were going with it. Oh my God, they're gonna mold his face on the clay face. And he puts it on there, and then we get the as it's on Carlo's head, we have the strike forces mobilizing. They're approaching. Bruce is figuring a way out in that awesome overhead shot. Firefly and Selena are working on keeping the door, melting through it.
And a big emphasis on Fish Mooney and her bare hands.
Oh yeah, and then we have the big reveal. Takes the thing off, and Carlo has become a bald Jim Gordon. But then they add the wig, and the wig bit's pretty funny.
It is.
But,
I'm Jim Gordon.
Just gonna build to that. I really love that explain too. Anyway, so I love that bit where they have Strange in the middle laughing his head off, and there's this awesome little pan around shot of like this kind of split screen almost of like we see one Gordon on one side and Hugo Strange laughing in the middle, and then Gordon's like in disbelief, like, oh my god. And I do have to wonder. I'll save it for not really spec, but I'll poke a hole in it after we get to the thing. So Jim has a really, let's just say it's Jim's reflective moment, that big old pan around looking at himself. I mean, how fun is that? So again, Jim Gordon, this has been my complaint through the whole show. Jim Gordon, he really needs to be a reflective character, look at himself. Really, we have to get inside his head, and we have kind of a moment epitomizing that visually, at least. He literally looks at himself, and looks at a parody of himself. It's pretty funny, and Strange is laughing his head off, and then he puts the wig on you, and he says, Carlo, the way this feels so literally. This is the first episode of the '60s Batman where Jill St. John pretended to be Robin. You remember that?
No, I don't. But that's fine.
The point is, like, that was literally the plot to the first Batman episode of someone pretending, literally looking identical to the actor, putting the mask on there. It says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Jim Gordon." It's the silliest. Over the top.
It's so silly, but in a good way.
I know, it's so over the top. Like Gordon's like in display. You SOB, he says, SOB, you
son of a bitch, you son of a bitch.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jim Gordon. Again, he has that smile I've been telling you about the whole season. He has that wonderful smile, like, yeah.
Right.
Oh, but so
let me just kind of get it out of the way. Like I really like his delivery in the next episode. I think there's some really funny stuff with it.
I mean, look, he's hilarious in the next episode. Let's not get that
The one problem, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, is that it makes Bullock into an idiot.
Yeah, it makes everyone into it. Well, everyone.
Yeah, that's the one issue. It kind of takes you out. But I mean, having said that, I think it's hilarious what they do with him, and it's. Like, outside of the issues of turning the characters into idiots, it's some of the best comedy in the show.
I mean, look, here, the thing is, you're right, it is hysterical with it. Again, it doesn't work in the story at all, but it's hysterical.
Yeah, I totally
Basically, the main thing is they really should have made it.
It almost feels like it should just be its own kind of, like, standalone, like, 15-minute YouTube sketch or something like that.
Oh, yeah, but let me tell you this. What I thought they were going, just to highlight the positive, my headspace when this first aired, because we didn't get a chance to talk about the spec, is the only thing really I could just highlight spec on. Mm-hmm. My main thought was it might actually work for a bit, but they might actually make it kind of a little more believable than it ultimately turned out to be, because you think Nigma would have coached him a little on that, because he knows so much about Jim Gordon. He would say, okay, well, Jim Gordon at least knows this stuff.
That's true.
Might be able to highlight some manners, and at the very least tells him, okay, well, these are the people that Jim Gordon knows, and he knows them by name, instead of just being surprised by everything. I mean, Strange did not prepare this guy at all.
No, he did not.
But here's what I tell me if you like this or not. Last thing to say on the episode before we just wrap up. It's like my main gripe with this episode, I was just the question marks next to it in my notes of, so Hugo Strange essentially lies to him, gives him the new personality, says, you're a great thespian, which again, Basil Carl will become a great thespian, but so that lie is instantly going to give him great acting abilities, because he's a good mimic in the moment, but I mean, do you think it's a good thing that he's not a good actor because of that logic, or do you think it's a problem?
No, I think it makes sense with the logic.
That's the thing, because he wouldn't be if you just tell him he's a good actor, he's not going to instantly be.
Right. It's like in his own mind, he thinks it's. Like I said, I think the bigger problem here is that the other characters are just idiots.
Yes, and the other thing is Strange just didn't have Nigma coach him on any of his basic Jim Gordon knowledge. But still, it's a hilarious moment to go. It's just an awesome, bizarre moment to end on. Again, I love the delivery by Ben McKay. He's having so much fun with that over-the-top delivery.
He totally is. Yeah.
Again, just when you hear he's nice to meet you. I'm Jim Gordon. I'm getting so much laughter. I've been rewatching that moment a few times just because it cracks me up. But yeah, it's the great ending. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out. That's the rest of the episode coming up next. It doesn't pan out the way we want it to.
Yeah, let's just kind of give quick final thoughts in terms of like this is a really good penultimate episode. I think this episode is probably like the closest we've come to that whole like sweet spot of the 1960s Batman, but in a dark kind of Tim Burton kind of way. A lot of fun stuff with Strange. Like, the one thing I kind of have to complain about is the Fish Mooney stuff with the mind control. I think that's a bit wonky. But
again, had we done this, like, if we talked about this last week, I would have said, it might have some potential. We might get some really cool stuff with her. Basically,
no.
Not, I wouldn't say cool. I mean, we might get some cool setup. Unfortunately, we don't get cool setup in the next one.
Right. But no, overall, I really like this episode. I think this episode is a solid, like, top 5 of the season. It's really well executed.
Yeah, I really love this one because, again, it put all the plot lines in the focus with the whole Court of Owls reveal that that's kind of why certain events have been orchestrated this season. It made Hugo Strange a lot more interesting a character. He was always interesting a character, but at least that was the general complaint with Hugo Strange is you don't really know why he's doing these things, but now you fully know why he's doing these things and what he kind of feels on the side there with Thomas Wayne.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you got to see him and Bruce. And points, the acting was really excellent in this episode. You have all these great little plot lines come. Basically, this one felt like they're tying it all together, but unfortunately, they didn't tie it all together in the next one. But again, folks, seriously, I don't want to undercut it, though. This episode was fantastic setup. It really was.
It was.
And the Fish Mooney stuff seems like it might be interesting, but again, does not pan out. She doesn't do anything.
That's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem.
It is, but more on that next time. But again, last thing is I love the episode. A lot of great stuff. And again, we're getting some great reflective stuff with Gordon. But again, we're getting to see some iconic characters coming out. I mean, we've been talking since the beginning. I wonder when they're going to do Clayface or Mad Hatter.
Sure.
And we got Clay. I was wondering how are they were squeezing Clayface in the last minute. And boy, did they. And then the octopi thing again. If you're going to start with like a Clayface and just mold his face, that works. Again, they're doing they're doing things right in this episode here.
Yeah. All right, take us out.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jim Gordon.
My name is Fish Mooney, bitch.